I absolutely love living in Coconut Grove. You guys have no idea. Ever since I moved here, I've been completely ghost. Why? Because I only hang out in my neighborhood. It's crazy. Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Desamours. I'm a residential realtor in Miami, Florida, and this is the first of many videos of my new series that are going to be neighborhood videos. So in these videos, I'm going to talk about different neighborhoods in Miami, whether I like them or not, okay? So even if there's a neighborhood that's not my favorite, I'm gonna give you guys all of the information about it. I'm gonna talk about the schools, the boundaries of the neighborhood, what's the cost of living there, right? Whether you're looking to rent or whether you're looking to buy a house, what gyms they have, what restaurants they have, what there is to do, etc. I remember when I would come to Miami a long time ago, I didn't ask my parents, hey, let's go to the beach, let's go to Wynwood. And by the way, back then, Wynwood did not exist. I always wanted to come to Coconut Grove. Back then, there was Coco Walk, right? And in Coco Walk, you had a live band, you had Cheesecake Factory, which, you know, when you're younger, you love Cheesecake Factory. I actually still love Cheesecake Factory. I remember just walking around and just loving this neighborhood, right? And when I came to Miami permanently, I remember that Coconut Grove was always my dream neighborhood, okay? I remember just driving through there, just praying to God, like, God, please one day let me have a house there. I love it so much. I love the landscaping. Coconut Grove is a neighborhood that is very unique, right? It's almost like you're living in a jungle. It's almost like, it's crazy. You have a bunch of houses, but you also have a bunch of trees. Sometimes even to get to a house, you have to go through a bunch of trees. You have the water, you have the Bahamian culture there. It's unreal. So Coconut Grove is Miami's oldest and most eclectic neighborhood. This was the first established city in Miami. So let's talk about the location. So the reason why Coconut Grove is one of the most expensive zip codes in Miami is, of course, because of the location, right? You're 15 minutes away from the airport, you're 15 minutes away from Key Biscayne, you're about 20 minutes away from Miami Beach, you're 10 minutes away from Brickell, 5 minutes from Coral Gables. You're just close to some of the key points of interest in Miami. Oh, and also in terms of location, in Coconut Grove, if you're looking to go to Port of Miami for a cruise, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes max. And again, that's without traffic. So in Miami, the traffic is absolutely insane. So if you look on a map, Coconut Grove is southeast of the airport. So in terms of zip codes, right? If you're searching for a property, right? Or if you're just searching for the neighborhood, there's two ways you can look at it. You can just type in the city Coconut Grove, or you can type in zip code 33133. However, keep in mind that Coconut Grove is east of US 1, which is the continuation of Biscayne Boulevard in Miami. So 33133, that zip codes expand to west of US 1. So you have a couple of properties that are beautiful, actually. Really nice houses, really nice condos that have the zip code 33133, but are either just in Miami or sometimes in Coral Gables, which is not technically Coconut Grove, although it's the same zip code. What's really cool about the Grove is the proximity to water. You have Biscayne Bay, right? So you can walk on South Bayshore Drive and you have so much water. You have a boat dock, you have a space to rollerblade, there's volleyball courts, there's parks, etc. There's so many things by the water, including Regatta Grove, which has a bunch of restaurants. In terms of public transportation, you do have the little cart that can take you around. Oh my God, I forgot the name. I'm gonna remember it and I'm gonna put it there. You also have the Metro Rail, which has a Coconut Grove station on the corner of 27th and US 1. And plus you have the trolleys. The trolleys are great, they're free, you just hop on, hop off whenever you want, and it has a specific route, which I'm going to put here. You can check out the info right there. Okay, so now you know a little bit about Coconut Grove, you've heard about this neighborhood. How much does it cost to actually live there? So in real estate, when it comes to location, if you're in a prime location, the more prime the location is, the more expensive it is, unfortunately. But when you are in Coconut Grove and you're driving around and you're looking around, you can see why it can be a little bit more expensive. So you have a wide range going from condos, townhouses, single family homes, and you have a lot of historic homes, right? So historic homes in Miami are homes that have a certain architecture and you cannot change it. You cannot change the look. You cannot change the facade. You want to keep the charm. And the charm is really what makes Coconut Grove unique. So let's say you're looking to buy a single family home in Coconut Grove, right? How much is it going to cost you? So I actually just sold a property just about, when did we close? Maybe 2 months ago. It's on the lower range, right? So it was a single family home closer to Douglas Road, and we sold it in the $700,000. So expect, if you're looking for a standalone single family home, expect for the prices to be around $700,000 going up. Some of the houses are well over $10 to $20 million, especially if the properties are waterfront. When it comes to townhouses, it's the same thing. However, for condos, there are older buildings in Coconut Grove, so you can definitely find a condo in the $300,000 range. You're not going to have a 2-bedroom. I'm talking about either a studio or a 1-bedroom. Okay, so when it comes to the rentals in Coconut Grove, I always have to take another look, right? So what happened during COVID is that a lot of people moved to Miami, a lot of people from the Northeast, a lot of people from California. So the rental prices of the Grove, I would tell you that they change every single month. Whatever I looked at last month is completely different than today, right? So if you're looking to come to Coconut Grove and you're looking to rent, I have my computer right here just to double check everything. So if you're looking for an apartment there's actually a really nice apartment on McFarlane right now, which is a very busy street. It's one of the streets with a bunch of restaurants, Harry's Pizzeria or whatnot. You can get a 1,400 square foot condo. It's in an older building though. You can get it. It's a 2-bedroom for $39.75. That's what they're asking. Now if you're looking to get a house, it goes up quite a bit, right? So there's a 3-bedroom house right now that's asking $5,900. It's a 1-story house. It's pretty renovated. It's pretty nice. So expect to pay around $4,000 as the entry, as the entry price. And there's actually properties that go all the way up to $40,000 a month. Those are on the water. The cool thing about the housing in Coconut Grove is that you have a lot of options, right? You can have a condo, like I was mentioning before, or a historical home, but there's also some pre-construction options, right? As part of Coconut Grove also, there's a little island just off of Coconut Grove, which is also part of Coconut Grove, and it's called Grove Isle. A good friend of mine, Zach, he lives there. The condos are really, really nice and are surrounded by water. However, there is a new project called Vita, which is building all around Grove Isle, right? Unfortunately, some people are going to lose their view. We also have Mr. C that's going to be coming up in the Grove, which are, beautiful pre-construction condos. They actually already started building. Some of the newer buildings include Park Grove and Grove at Grand Bay, which is kind of like I don't know, I just like the design of it. It's one of my favorite buildings in Coconut Grove. Okay, so when it comes to school and education, Coconut Grove is known for having some of the best schools in Miami, including Carrollton and Ransom Everglades. They have amazing elementary schools too. And the cool thing about Coconut Grove Elementary, which is one of the main elementary schools in Coconut Grove, is that they offer different language programs. My mother tongue is French. And when I was looking at some French schools for my daughter, I was actually pleasantly surprised to see that they do offer a French program at Coconut Grove Elementary. I believe they have a Spanish program as well. So, I ended up not putting my daughter there. I'm never going to tell you guys where I put my daughter in school, but Coconut Grove Elementary is just a very well-known school. There's good middle schools as well. There's good pre-K schools. There's Montessori schools for your babies. There's a lot of options for families. And when it comes to universities, you're very, very close to University of Miami. I'm talking less than 15 minutes away because it's right there in Coral Gables. And you're maybe a 20 to 30 minute drive with no traffic to FIU, which is Florida International University. Let's talk about activities. Coconut Grove is a really nice hub for cultural events. So you have the Coconut Grove Arts Festival. Every Saturday, you also have this awesome farmers market right on Grand Avenue. I go almost every Saturday. I love it there. You have people selling sea moss, selling food, incense, fruit, juices, shakes, just a bunch of local vendors sharing their talent, sharing their products. Really a good place to go and meet new people as well. You can also catch a performance at the historic Coconut Grove Playhouse. And there's also different halls. If you want to have an event, one of my favorite halls, and you know, one day when I get married, that's one of the venues that I thought were really cool. It's called the Cruise Building. I think it's such a cool historical building. I need to look more into the history of it because it kind of looks haunted, but very beautiful at the same time. You have a bunch of parks, a bunch of dog parks. You have bike trails. You can go on a really nice bike ride on Lejeune Road, which leads you to Coco Plum and Old Cutler Road, which is probably one of the best scenic views in Miami. When you're driving around there, even if you're taking a walk or you're in your car, it doesn't even feel like you're in Miami. It feels like you're in a jungle somewhere. It's absolutely beautiful. And of course, you have the very popular Kennedy Park and the Peacock Park, right? They all even have like a Peacock Cafe. I know that there's a couple of groups, women's groups that meet there. When speaking of Kennedy Park, when you go there, you can have a picnic, you can rollerblade, you can just take a walk by the water. If you go there, don't forget to grab a slushie from AC's Ices. It's a little truck by Kennedy Park, and this dude's been there forever. He's like a staple in Coconut Grove. Everyone knows him. Opening hours are, whenever he feels like it. It's one of the best slushies you'll have in Miami. Oh, and another thing with Coconut Grove, it seems like everybody has a dog. Like everyone. Everywhere that you walk, someone has a dog. Golden Doodle to regular dog ratio is like 7 out of 10. Like everyone has a Golden Doodle. But I think it's really cool that a lot of people have pets, and most of the restaurants, most of the places you go to in Coconut Grove are pet friendly. Okay, so if you like working out like me, I'm a huge gym rat. Not only do you have access to a lot of outdoor activities like tennis, volleyball courts and whatnot, there's even paddle courts. Paddle became really popular in Miami recently. I don't know what happened. You have a lot of options of indoor places to work out. So I love the Gym Anatomy, which is right by the water. You have a UFit, you have a bunch of Pilates and yoga studios, and super cool, they're going to be opening a Sweat 440 very soon. I love those 40-minute workouts. Oh, and there's also a bunch of running clubs, bike clubs. I mean, whatever it is that you like to do, you'll find it in Coconut Grove. Sometimes I'm taking a long walk and I see a bunch of people at the park doing yoga. Are they part of a yoga club? I don't know, but they're doing yoga. You have restaurants. That's one of my favorite parts of the Grove. I'm a huge foodie. I think I've tried every single restaurant in Coconut Grove. Okay, let's start with breakfast. Green Street Cafe is a staple. You can't really make a reservation, but you can get there in advance and then you have to wait. It's first come, first serve. You can get a table. Great breakfast. No brainer, always good. You have Lulu's right in front, so when the wait is too long at Green Street, I'll usually cross the street and go to Lulu's. You also have El Bagel that opened recently. Oh my God. It was so good, like ridiculously good. One of the best bagels I've ever had. Doesn't beat a Montreal bagel though. Don't get it twisted. You also have Le Pain Quotidien, which is on Main Highway. It is a French bakery. They have French croissant, fresh bread, a really cool breakfast menu. Love going there on a Saturday morning. Now for lunch. If you just want to have something quick, I like the taco place. There's actually a few taco spots in Coconut Grove. You have a new one called Bar Taco on McFarlane, and you also have El Taquito, which is your typical, after you go out to a bar or go clubbing or whatnot, you go to El Taquito. It's kind of like, it's not really somewhere that you can sit. I think they have maybe four or five high stools where you can sit there, but people just, walk around with their tacos, they eat it. You have a bunch of lunch spots. I love going to Planta Queen. You have Mr. Owen Pizza, you have Harry's Pizzeria, just all of them are good. Actually, I've never had bad food in Coconut Grove. It's one of those neighborhoods. For dinner, I was there last night. Some of the best sushi that I've had in my life. Omakai sushi. Write it down, Google it. If you're a sushi lover, you need to go to Omakai. Not only is the sushi amazing, but the cost of it, it's ridiculous. Like what I took last night, it was $50, and every time there's sushi coming. In the end, I wasn't even hungry anymore, and it wasn't even done. More sushi coming. It was just so good. Good service, fresh fish. The only thing is I wish they had more dessert options. If you like cookies, if you like cake, you can go to Fireman Derek's. There's a bunch of gelato spots, ice cream places. If you want to go shopping in the Grove, we're talking about restaurants. You have Aesop. You have a lot of cute little vintage shops where you can find designer stuff, non-designer stuff, and you have a lot of local vendors, right? Local boutiques, people from Miami, not chains, but local spots. That's what I like about the shopping in the Grove. So now let's talk about the pros and cons of living in Coconut Grove. Of course, there's more pros than cons, but it took me a while to find the cons. Okay, let's start with the pros. So the community aspect of it. I moved to the Grove last year and I felt like there's such a nice community. Before I was talking about how everyone has a dog, whenever I go on a walk, whenever I'm even just rollerblading, people say hi to you, people are friendly around there. There's a lot of clubs. If you like to bike, there's biking clubs. There's different ways for you to build a community there. Whether you have kids or not, no matter what age you are, there is going to be a club in Coconut Grove. There is going to be something for you. And when you live there, because it's so walkable, right? The walkability is like 10 out of 10. So because it's so walkable, you're always running into people. There's just something about the energy in the Grove that is so positive. When you're there, you can feel it. You can feel the warmth. I don't know if it's because there's so many trees. There's something about that. But the community there is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It's multicultural. You have the Bahamian community, the Black community, you have Latinos, you have people from New York, a lot of French people in Coconut Grove, right? There's a few of them. There's a few of my people there. Another pro of living in Coconut Grove is the nature. Everywhere you go, there's trees everywhere. You have a lot of very old trees. Those are just gorgeous. My daughter plays tennis. A lot of times I have to wait for her, and whenever I'm waiting for her, there's always a park and there's always just beautiful trees that I can just sit by and read a book or answer emails. Just all of the nature that is in Coconut Grove is very appealing. It's very soothing, and for me it's been pretty good for my mental health. Another pro is the proximity to everything, right? Proximity to the beach, proximity to downtown and Brickell, proximity to the major highways, proximity to the airport, the ports. I mean, this is a huge key factor for me because I don't like driving that much. When I'm in my car too much, it gives me a little bit of anxiety. So living somewhere where everything is 5-10 minutes away, 15 minutes away is amazing. And finally, another pro of Coconut Grove are the amenities. And when I talk about amenities, it's the things that you have to do, whether it's recreation, whether it's, like I mentioned before, clubs, working out, restaurants, shopping, whatever it is that you need there, you'll find it in Coconut Grove, and often it might even be walking distance. You have the Coco Walk shopping center. I mean, you have so many things walking distance or less than 5 minutes away by car. Now, the cons of living in Coconut Grove. There's like no shortcut when it comes to the traffic. You just gotta take it. A lot of places in the Grove have less lanes, right? Like if you're on a major street like US 1, you'll have 3-4 lanes. But when you're on South Bayshore Drive, for example, when you're going northeast, right, towards Brickell, when you pass Aviation Street, which is the street where you have the Starbucks and Compass and Monty's and whatnot, you can, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to mention Monty's. Monty's is a great spot for food, especially their happy hour is like 10 out of 10. Okay, back to the subject. When you cross Starbucks, it becomes 2 lanes. And at one point, like you barely have 2 lanes. So when you're in traffic there, it's kind of brutal. There's no way around it because the other side is like the water. And the other side is US 1, which is usually worse. So the traffic could be better. Another con of Coconut Grove is the parking situation, right? So great, you found an apartment, you found this great condo in the middle of the Grove. You have your own parking spot, but there's no guest parking, and you're right by Coco Walk. What do you do when people come over? Where are they gonna park? There's almost no parking on the weekends. You either have to go into a parking garage and pay to park, or you have to pay street parking if you find it. If there's any event going on, or if it's like 4th of July, expect to pay $20+ just to park your car. It's a very central place, so central places equal no parking. I'm lucky I live there. I'll usually Uber wherever I need to go, or I can park. Thank God my office is in Coconut Grove as well, so I have a parking spot there. So if you're looking to live in Coconut Grove, that's one of the things you need to take into consideration. And even if you're purchasing a property or a condo, make sure that you look at the parking, because if you're somebody that likes to have a lot of people over, it might be better for you to opt for a newer building that offers valet parking for guests. And finally, the last con, which it's a con, but I'm really it's just because I had to give 3 cons, right? So the cost of living, it's very high. It's not your typical Miami prices. The entry level is very, very high in Coconut Grove. But the way I see it, that's the price to pay to live in such a beautiful, eclectic, historical neighborhood. All right, guys, hope that was helpful. If you have any questions about what it's like to live in Coconut Grove, maybe there's a restaurant I didn't mention or something I didn't mention, please feel free to write down in the comments below. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. And of course, if you're looking to move to Coconut Grove, whether it is to buy a house, a condo, an investment property, no matter what the budget is, I'm happy to help you. You can schedule a complimentary consultation with me by clicking the link in the description box. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more of these. And by the way, let me know which neighborhood you guys want me to do next. I'm hesitating. Should I do Brickell? Should I do Miami Beach? Let me know which one you'd like me to do next.